Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something very important. We will talk about step-by-step thinking in English. Many people want to speak English fluently. They learn words, they learn grammar, they practice reading and writing. But when it is time to speak, they stop. Their mind becomes blank. They try to translate from their language to English, and this takes time. Because of this, they feel slow and lose confidence. So today, I will share a simple idea with you. This idea is step-by-step thinking in English. When you learn to think in English slowly, your speaking becomes easy and natural. Let me tell you a story. When I started learning English, I always translated everything in my head. If I wanted to say something simple, I first thought in my language. Then I changed it into English. This made me slow. Sometimes I forgot words. Sometimes I made mistakes. I felt frustrated. One day I decided to try something different. I stopped translating. I started thinking in small English sentences. At first, it was very difficult. My mind was not ready. I knew only a few words. But I did not stop. I continued every day. Step by step, something changed. My mind started to accept English. I did not need to translate every time. Slowly, I began to think directly in English. This made my speaking faster and easier. Now let me explain how you can also do this. First, start with very small thoughts. Do not try to think long sentences. Just use simple words. For example, when you wake up in the morning, think, I am awake. Then think, I feel sleepy. Then think, I need water. These are very small sentences, but they are powerful. When you do this every day, your brain starts to learn English naturally. You are not forcing it. You are training it slowly. Second, look around you and describe things. This is a very easy and helpful practice. If you see a chair, think, this is a chair. If you see a fan, think, the fan is moving. If you see the sky, think, the sky is blue. These simple thoughts help you build your thinking skill. I remember when I started doing this, I looked at everything and tried to say it in English. Sometimes I did not know the word. In that case, I used simple words. For example, if I did not know the word refrigerator, I said, cold box. This helped me continue thinking without stopping. Third, talk to yourself in English. This may feel strange, but it is very useful. You can talk about your day. You can say, now I am going to eat. Now I am working. Now I am tired. This practice makes your mind active in English. I used to talk to myself every day. When I walked, I spoke in English. When I sat alone, I spoke in English. This gave me confidence. I did not feel afraid because I was practicing alone. Fourth, do not worry about mistakes. When you think in English, you will make mistakes. This is normal. Do not stop because of this. Mistakes are part of learning. Every mistake teaches you something new. I made many mistakes when I started. Sometimes my sentences were wrong. Sometimes my words were not correct. But I continued. Slowly, my mistakes became less. Fifth, repeat your thoughts. Repetition is very important. When you think a sentence again and again, it becomes natural. For example, you can repeat, I am learning English. I am learning English. I am learning English. This makes the sentence strong in your mind. I used repetition every day. It helped me remember words and sentences. It also made my thinking faster. Another important thing is to be patient. Thinking in English is a skill. It takes time. You cannot learn it in one day. But if you practice daily, you will see progress. Sometimes you may feel tired. Sometimes you may feel slow. That is okay. Do not stop. Even small practice is good. Even thinking one sentence in English is progress. Also, try to enjoy this process. Do not make it boring. Make it fun. You can imagine stories in your mind. You can think about your favorite things. You can create small conversations in your head. I remember I used to imagine talking to a friend in English. I asked questions and answered them. This made my thinking more active and interesting. Step by step, your mind will change. You will start thinking faster. You will not need to translate. Words will come easily. Sentences will form naturally. This is the power of step-by-step thinking in English. So, start today. Start small. Be consistent. Be patient. And most important, keep going. Chapter 2. Are you ready to start thinking in English step by step? Many learners start thinking in English, but they stop after a few days. Why does this happen? It happens because they try to do too much too fast. They try to think long sentences. They try to use difficult words. Then they feel tired and confused. So today, we will learn how to grow slowly and naturally. Let me share another story. After I started thinking in small English sentences, I felt happy. I could think simple things like I am eating, I am walking, I am tired. But after some time, I wanted to say more. I wanted to express more ideas. I wanted to think bigger thoughts. At first, I made a mistake. I tried to think long and perfect sentences. My mind became slow again. I started translating again. Then I understood something important. Growth should be step by step, not all at once. So I changed my method. Instead of thinking one long sentence, I started connecting small sentences. For example, instead of thinking I am going to the market because I need to buy vegetables for dinner, I broke it into small parts. I thought, I am going to the market. I need vegetables. I will cook dinner. These are small sentences, but together they make a full idea. This method is very powerful. It helps your mind stay relaxed. It also helps you think faster. Now you can try this method. When you want to think something big, break it into small steps. Think one idea at a time. Then connect them slowly. Another helpful practice is to use daily routines. Your daily life is your best teacher. You already know what you do every day. You just need to say it in English. When you wake up, think, I wake up. I go to the bathroom. I brush my teeth. I drink water. I eat breakfast. These are simple actions, but they help you practice thinking again and again. I use this method every day. I described my whole day in English, morning, afternoon, and night. This gave me many chances to practice. Slowly, my thinking became smooth. Now let us talk about using questions in your thinking. Questions make your mind more active. They help you think deeper. You can ask yourself simple questions like, what am I doing? Where am I going? What do I need? Then answer these questions in English. For example, you can think, what am I doing? I am studying. Why am I studying? I want to improve my English. This small conversation in your mind is very powerful. I used to ask myself many questions. Sometimes I even answered in different ways. This made my thinking flexible. Another good technique is to use your imagination. Imagination helps you create new situations. It helps you practice even when you are alone. You can imagine you are in a shop. You can think, I want to buy a shirt. How much is this? This is expensive. Do you have a cheaper one? This kind of thinking prepares you for real conversations. I remember I used to imagine traveling to another country. I imagined talking to people in English. I practiced asking for directions, ordering food, and introducing myself. When I later spoke in real life, I felt more confident. Now let us talk about learning new words while thinking. Many learners stop thinking when they do not know a word. This is not a good habit. If you do not know a word, do not stop. Use simple words. Explain the idea in another way. For example, if you do not know the word elevator, you can say, the machine that goes up and down. This keeps your thinking active. Later, you can learn the correct word. But do not break your thinking flow. I followed this rule strictly. I never stopped thinking because of one word. This helped me stay confident and active. Another important point is to listen and think together. When you listen to English, try to think about what you hear. Do not just listen. Use your mind. For example, if you listen to a sentence, repeat it in your mind. Then try to change it. If you hear, I am eating food, you can think, I am eating rice. I am eating dinner. This small change builds your thinking skill. I practiced this while listening to stories and videos. It made my mind sharp. Also, try to think in the present moment. Do not always think about the past or future. Start with what is happening now. This is easier. Think, I am sitting, I am reading, I am learning. These present tense sentences are simple and clear. Once you become comfortable, then you can move to past and future. You can think, yesterday I studied English. Tomorrow I will practice speaking. But always start simple. Consistency is very important. Practice every day. Even 5 minutes is good. The more you practice, the stronger your thinking becomes. I made it a habit. Every day I spent time thinking in English. Sometimes only a few minutes, sometimes longer. But I did not stop. Slowly, I saw a big change. My thoughts became faster. My sentences became clearer. I started speaking without fear. So remember, do not rush. Do not try to be perfect. Think step by step. Build your skill slowly. Chapter 3. Are you practicing thinking in English every day? Many learners can think in English, but they still feel slow. They pause too much. They search for words. This happens because their mind is not yet trained to think quickly. So today, we will train your mind to think faster without fear. Let me share something from my experience. After practicing small sentences in daily routines, I felt more comfortable. But when I tried to speak quickly, I still had problems. My thoughts were slow. I needed more time. Then I started a new practice. I called it fast thinking practice. In this practice, I gave myself a simple task. I looked at something and quickly said 3 sentences about it in English. No stopping, no translating, just simple sentences. For example, I looked at a cup and thought, "This is a cup. It is on the table. It is empty." I did not think too much. I just spoke in my mind. At first, it was not easy. My mind wanted to stop and think carefully, but I did not allow that. I kept going. Slowly, my speed improved. You can try this practice too. Look at anything around you, a phone, a book, a door. Then say 3 simple sentences quickly. Do this again and again. This will train your brain to respond fast. Another helpful method is to use time limits. Give yourself 10 seconds to think about something in English. Do not worry about mistakes. Just think. For example, set a timer and think about your day. Say, I woke up early. I ate breakfast. I went to work. Keep going until time ends. This makes your thinking active and quick. Now let us talk about thinking without fear. Fear is a big problem. Many learners stop thinking because they are afraid of being wrong. But remember, your mind is your safe place. No one is judging you. You can make mistakes freely. So remove fear from your thinking. I also had fear in the beginning. I wanted every sentence to be perfect. But this stopped my progress. When I removed fear, I improved faster. So allow yourself to be imperfect. Another important step is to use simple patterns. Patterns make thinking easy. For example, you can use I like, I need, I want, I see. These patterns help you create many sentences quickly. For example, I like tea, I like music, I like learning English. This pattern is simple but very useful. I used these patterns a lot. They made my thinking smooth. Now let us learn about expanding your thoughts. When you think one sentence, try to add one more. For example, think, I am reading a book. Then add, the book is interesting. Then add, I like this book. This way, one thought becomes 3 thoughts. This helps you speak more. I practiced this every day. I did not stop at one sentence. I always added more. This improved my fluency. Another great technique is shadow thinking. This means you listen to English and think along with it. For example, when you hear a sentence, repeat it in your mind at the same time. Try to follow the speaker. This trains your brain to think at natural speed. I used this while watching videos. It was very powerful. It improved both my listening and thinking. Also, try to think in short conversations. Imagine someone is talking to you. Answer them in your mind. For example, imagine someone asks, "How are you?" You answer, "I am fine." Then imagine the next question. "Where are you going?" You answer, "I am going to the market." This creates a flow in your thinking. I practiced this a lot. It made real conversations easier. Now let us talk about staying consistent. You do not need long hours. Small daily practice is enough. Even while walking, you can think in English. Even while eating, you can think in English. Use every moment. I made thinking in English a habit. It became part of my life. Slowly, something amazing happened. I stopped translating. I started thinking directly in English. My speaking became faster. My confidence grew. This can happen to you too. So keep practicing, keep thinking, keep moving step by step. Chapter 4. Do you feel your thinking is getting faster? Many learners can think fast, but their thoughts are not clear. They use random words. They feel confused. This happens because they are not organizing their thoughts. So today, we will learn how to think in a clear and structured way. Let me share something from my experience. After I improved my speed, I noticed another problem. My sentences were fast, but sometimes they did not connect well. I could say many things, but my ideas were not always clear. Then I learned something important. Thinking is not only about speed, it is also about clarity. So I started a new practice. I began to organize my thoughts in a simple order. First, I started with one idea. Then I added a reason. Then I added a result. For example, I thought, "I am learning English." Then I added, "because I want to speak fluently." Then I added, "so I practice every day." Now my thinking became clearer. You can try this method too. Always think in small steps. Idea, reason, result. This simple structure helps your brain stay organized. Now let us talk about using connectors. Connectors are small words that join ideas. Words like and, because, so, but. These words are very powerful. They help you connect your thoughts. For example, I can think, "I am tired, but I will study." Or, "I am learning English because I want a better future." These sentences are simple, but they are meaningful. I used connectors every day. They helped me build longer thoughts without confusion. Another helpful technique is to slow down when needed. Remember, thinking fast is good, but thinking clearly is better. If your thoughts become messy, slow down. Take a small pause, then start again with simple sentences. I learned to control my speed. Sometimes I thought fast. Sometimes I slowed down. This balance helped me improve. Now let us talk about using real situations. Real situations help you think clearly because they are connected to your life. For example, think about your work or your studies. Think, "I have a task. I need to finish it. It is important, so I will focus." This kind of thinking is real and useful. I practice this every day. I used English in real situations in my mind. This made my thinking strong and practical. Another powerful habit is to explain things in your mind. When you explain something, your thinking becomes clear. For example, explain your daily routine. Explain your favorite movie. Explain your plan for tomorrow. Use simple sentences and clear ideas. I used to explain everything in my mind. Sometimes I explained how to cook food. Sometimes I explained how to travel somewhere. This made my thinking organized. Now let us learn about thinking in steps. When you have a big idea, break it into steps. For example, if you think about going somewhere, you can think, first, I will get ready. Then, I will leave my house. Then, I will take a bus. This step-by-step thinking is very clear. I use this method a lot. It helped me speak clearly in real life. Another important thing is to avoid overthinking. Many learners try to think perfect sentences. This creates pressure. Do not try to be perfect. Try to be clear. Simple and clear is always better than complex and confusing. I made this mistake before. I tried to use difficult words. But later, I understood that simple English is powerful. So keep your thinking simple. Now let us talk about practice with topics. Choose one topic every day. Think about it for a few minutes. For example, today's topic can be food. Think, I like food. My favorite food is rice. I eat it every day. It is simple, but it is good practice. Tomorrow, you can choose another topic like weather, family, or work. I use this method regularly. It helped me improve my thinking on different topics. Another useful tip is to repeat your clear thoughts. When you create a good sentence, repeat it. For example, I am learning English because I want to improve my life. Repeat this sentence many times. It becomes natural. Repetition makes your thinking strong. Also, try to listen to yourself in your mind. When you think, pay attention to your sentences. Ask yourself, is this clear? Can I say it better? This small check improves your quality. I used to do this often. It helped me correct myself without stress. Consistency is still very important. Do not stop your practice. Even small effort every day brings big results. I practiced daily. Some days were easy, some days were difficult, but I continued. Slowly, my thinking became clear and smooth. I could express my ideas better. I felt more confident. This is the goal. Clear thinking leads to clear speaking. So keep practicing. Keep organizing your thoughts. Keep using simple sentences. Chapter 5. Are your thoughts becoming more clear in English? Many learners can think in English, but when they try to speak, they still feel nervous. Their mind works, but their voice stops. This is very common. So today, we will learn how to connect thinking and speaking smoothly. Let me share something from my journey. After I learned how to think clearly in English, I felt more confident in my mind. But when I tried to speak in front of others, I still felt shy. My thoughts were ready, but my voice was not. Then I understood something important. Thinking and speaking are connected, but they need practice together. So I started a new habit. I began to speak my thoughts out loud. At first, I spoke very slowly. I said simple sentences like I am learning English. I feel happy. I am practicing every day. My voice was not strong, but I continued. This is the first step for you. Take your thoughts and say them out loud. Do not keep everything in your mind. Let your voice join your thinking. You can start alone. Speak in your room. Speak while walking. Speak in front of a mirror. This builds your confidence. I use the mirror a lot. I looked at myself and spoke in English. At first, it felt strange, but slowly I became comfortable. I could see my expressions. I could hear my voice. This helped me improve. Now let us talk about speaking slowly. Many learners try to speak fast, but this creates pressure. Do not rush. Speak slowly and clearly. When you speak slowly, your mind has time to think. Your words become better. I practiced slow speaking every day. I focused on clarity, not speed. Slowly, my speed improved naturally. Another helpful method is to repeat your spoken sentences. When you say something, say it again. For example, you say, I am going to the market. Then repeat, I am going to the market. This repetition makes your speech strong. I used repetition in speaking just like in thinking. It made my sentences natural. Now let us talk about building confidence. Confidence comes from practice, not from perfection. You do not need perfect grammar to speak. You need courage to try. I made many mistakes while speaking. Sometimes people corrected me. Sometimes they did not understand me. But I did not stop. Every time I spoke, I learned something new. This built my confidence. You can also practice with small conversations. Start with simple greetings. Say, hello, how are you? I am fine. These small conversations are very powerful. Then slowly, add more sentences. Talk about your day. Talk about your plans. Keep it simple. Another good technique is to record yourself. Use your phone and record your voice. Speak for 1 minute. Then listen to it. You will notice your mistakes. You will also see your improvement. At first, you may not like your voice. This is normal, but keep doing it. It helps a lot. I recorded myself many times. When I listened, I learned how to improve my pronunciation and clarity. Now let us talk about using thinking during speaking. When you speak, do not stop your thinking. Keep your thoughts simple and continuous. Think one sentence, speak it, then think the next. For example, I am at home. I am studying. I feel good. This flow keeps your speaking active. I practiced this flow every day. It helped me speak without long pauses. Another important tip is to accept silence. Sometimes you will stop for a moment. That is okay. Do not panic. Take a small pause and continue. Silence is part of speaking. I learned to stay calm during pauses. This made my speaking more natural. Now let us talk about practicing with others. When you feel ready, Speak with someone. It can be a friend, a teacher, or even an online partner. Start with simple conversations. Do not worry about mistakes. Focus on communication. I practiced with a friend. We spoke simple English every day. This helped me a lot. Also, try to use English in real situations. When you get a chance, speak. Even small sentences are good. For example, ordering food, asking for directions, or greeting someone. Real practice builds real confidence. Consistency is the key. Speak every day, even for a few minutes. I made speaking a daily habit. This changed everything. Slowly, my fear disappeared. My voice became stronger. My sentences became smoother. This is what happens when thinking and speaking work together. So keep practicing. Speak your thoughts. Stay simple. Stay consistent. Chapter 6. Are you ready to speak your thoughts out loud? Many learners can think and speak in English, but their sentences sound slow or unnatural. They pause too much, or they use the same words again and again. This is normal. Today, we will learn how to improve flow and make your English sound more natural. Let me share something from my journey. After I started speaking my thoughts, I felt more confident. I could speak simple sentences, but sometimes my speech felt broken. I stopped too much. I repeated the same words. I wanted to sound more natural. Then I learned something important. Fluency is not about big words. It is about flow. So I started working on my flow. The first thing I did was to connect my sentences smoothly. Instead of stopping after every sentence, I tried to continue. For example, I said, I woke up early and I felt fresh. Then I made tea and I started my work. These small connections made my speaking smooth. You can practice this by using simple connectors like, and, then, so. This makes your speech sound like a story, not like separate sentences. Another helpful method is to use common phrases. Phrases are groups of words that people use often. For example, you can say, I think so, I feel like, it is okay, no problem. These phrases make your English sound natural. I used these phrases daily. They helped me speak easily without thinking too much. Now let us talk about reducing pauses. Pauses are normal, but too many pauses break your flow. One way to reduce pauses is to keep your sentences simple. Do not try to say everything at once. Say one idea, then move to the next. I practice this every day. I kept my sentences short and clear. This reduced my pauses. Another useful technique is to use filler words. Filler words give you time to think. Words like well, so, okay can help you continue speaking. For example, you can say, well, I think it is a good idea, so I will try it. These small words keep your speech moving. I used filler words when I needed time. They helped me stay calm. Now let us talk about listening and copying. When you listen to English, pay attention to how people speak. Notice their speed, their tone, and their phrases. Then try to copy them. This is called imitation. I watched videos and copied the way people spoke. I repeated their sentences. This helped me sound more natural. You can do this too. Choose a short video. Listen carefully. Then repeat the sentences. Another important habit is to think in full expressions, not just single words. For example, instead of thinking only the word tired, think, I feel tired. Instead of thinking hungry, think, I am hungry. This helps you speak faster because your sentences are ready. I trained my mind to think in small, full sentences. This made speaking easier. Now let us talk about daily practice in real life. Use English in your daily activities. When you are cooking, think and speak, I am cutting vegetables. I am cooking food. It smells good. When you are walking, think, I am walking outside. The weather is nice. This constant practice builds fluency. I used English in my daily life as much as possible. This made it natural for me. Another helpful tip is to enjoy repetition. Do not feel bored when you repeat sentences. Repetition builds strength. I repeated many simple sentences again and again. Over time, they became automatic. Now let us talk about confidence again. Fluency grows with confidence. Do not be afraid of small mistakes. Focus on your message, not perfection. I stopped worrying about mistakes. I focused on speaking. This improved my fluency. Also, try to smile when you speak. It may sound simple, but it helps. When you smile, your voice becomes relaxed. You feel more confident. I practiced speaking with a smile. It changed my energy. Another good method is to speak for 1 minute every day without stopping. Choose any topic and speak continuously. It can be your day, your plans, or your thoughts. At first, it will be hard. You may stop, but keep trying. I did this exercise daily. It improved my flow and confidence. Consistency is still the key. Practice every day, even for a short time. Slowly, your English will become smooth. Your sentences will connect naturally. Your speaking will feel easy. This is the result of step-by-step thinking and practice. So keep going. Keep speaking. Keep improving.